Smells from the TV. I'm Simone.
I'm C the Server.
I'm Jay Musa.
And we are the collective. And as you see, we have Jay Musa here. We're going to talk about his music, his podcast, and everything he got going on.
Yes,
so
sir.
Tell us about yourself. Who is Jay Musa?
Ignorant worshiper, you know. I just try to do my best to abide by God, but we all got our little bumps on the way.
Okay.
Been doing music about 3 years. Just dropping some of it on me, some of it on other people, but I'm trying to get better with just taking responsibility for not being where I want to be at and different things not happening. So I take bulk of the blame.
Okay. So it's been 3 years. You just dropped your first project.
Mm-hmm.
Why so much time before dropping your first project?
So I'm big on like dates and numbers, low key, and not like astronomy or nothing like that. But like when I first started working on music, I was trying to drop on my birthday, and once my birthday passed, cause my producer had a family issue during the month before, I couldn't get the project done, and they couldn't really. Some of the concepts was about my birthday and me, so it was like I can't drop this no other day. Then the next project I was working on with me and another producer was a smoke tape, and then 420 passed, and we low key shot like a little short film for it. So it's still coming out, but it's like it just so happened every project I started working on had a date lined up for it, and it's a little harder to just switch it when projects line up with different things.
Okay, you say you believe in astrology. Do you think?
No, not like astrology.
Oh, astronomy. Or
Not like neither.
You just ain't like,
I think numerology is its own thing, but it's just more so each date was significant for each project.
Okay. Yeah. I was about to say my follow-up question was going to be why didn't you find other things that fit within that one?
Nah, it wasn't.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't
I
that.
was just
It wasn't. Not if into that. I'm just not the biggest in astrology and signs and all that. It would just happen to line up like another project that probably gonna be out by the time this comes out. Dayson, after a couple people in my family passed away, I was working on that. So I was trying to drop it on the days. Their birthdays are close to when they passed. Okay. So I was trying to drop it on their birthdays to line up with some of the tracks, but kind of messed up, and then it's a full year passing now, so that's why they about to drop too.
Well, you said you've been doing music for 3 years, so what made you want to do music?
Mainly because I just wanted to. I heard from a select few people that I had a good sound and I rap decent, but it was more so like being high freestyling. So I didn't take it too seriously, and then it came from me. Just like, man, I actually do think I sound good. Like, you start seeing other people's freestyles before. Like, if you ever heard an artist, what they sound like before they engineer helps them. You're like, if this nigga can do it, I can do it. So,
damn.
Like, it's that shit.
That nigga some shit, I can do it.
Like, engineers and producers help out a lot. Like, a lot of these motherfuckers can't sing, they can't hold a tune, but they engineer is God. Like, they get it over the hump, and with no engineer, I think I'm better than some of these artists. So once I started just believing in myself, believing in content, and then I care less for like wanting to reach millions of people and wanting millions, and then more so just wanted to create my art and put it out there. And if it connects with people that think similar, then that's fine with me.
Okay. How long do you think you gonna take that leap of faith of start performing?
So with the podcast we working on, we started off as a podcast, and then we wanted to do more than just what that show was at the time, which was kind of like interviewing business owners, artists.
What's the name of your podcast?
Room 412.
All right.
So from that, we wanted to evolve, get into like live interviews. We wanted to have live performances, but we didn't want to put everything under one bubble, so it made more sense for a network. So we working on some live performances there, like not necessarily mic drops, but more like a tiny desk. So that's probably gonna be the first one, but I'm blessed to know a lot of people in different walks of life, so something big might be coming up soon after the project.
Do you feel as though like with that you got to put a card together that's like closer to the type of music that you're making?
To an extent, that's why I was like, I don't necessarily cater to the millions. It's more so like my music is an expression of me. It's nothing I've rapped about that part of that I haven't directly been in it. Or I don't aspire to be that, and I don't aspire to be anything negative. So it's either I manifested it or it already happened.
So what made you want to do the podcast?
So couldn't get a job for a long time. Me and my business partner / cousin, we was working at the same internship, making decent money, but and the internship was for like a business incubator program. So we was working on another company, and then through that we was like, more so he just wanted to just start working on producing content. So it started from something small like that, and then as we was working on it, that's how the podcast came up. And then probably a year after that, I didn't have the financial situation to pay for school, so I was just working, helping my mother with her daycare, and then working on music like every day, listening to beats, smoking after I'm off. Like the time I was in school, all that went to music. So by the time I got back in school, got back with a different job, and then working more, everything just became music or the podcast as far as like what I want to add to life. Like I find myself in my free time, I'll study another podcast, see how they do shit with like little tweaks, like even in y'all setup, y'all lighting amazing, this building, like you get to a point where you go from, all right, we doing it here, but I already know as soon as we drop these 2 episodes, more people gonna want to come on. Like that's why I asked y'all about y'all space, because sometimes you can't have everybody know the certain location of a certain business, and before you expand, you got to think like, damn, how many people can I even fit in here for what I'm trying to do? So it just kept building off each other.
Thanks. I was just listening. I guess tell us about your podcast.
So Room 412 was initially one show where we're entrepreneurs. That's like our bread and butter, but we all creative in other forms of art, whether it's spray paint. Like I love how y'all had y'all put y'all chairs in and just the sign and having y'all guest sign and like little artistic things like that, to music, to painting, pottery, different things. Like all the people I'm around are artists in their own respect. Right. So it went from us enjoying and still interviewing people, wanting to put them on, but I still want an outlet to express myself. So then the rest of the shows that we started coming up with were just things we were interested in that people love, which the biggest one was probably the drinking show we was doing. Everybody, like, we getting people drunk, basically. Yeah. Like, for free. You come on. If you're not dry, we're going to invite you to come on and get drunk with us. That led to us doing that. Then we came up with Not the Porch, which is a show where we taking, like, Southern conversation. You in front of your grandma's house. You on a porch. We taking those vibes. Random coworker, random family friend drive by, like, oh, I didn't know y'all was out here today. Now everybody making a lit night out of nowhere. We took that vibe and we taking it everywhere that's not the porch, that same aspect.
Yeah, I like how, it seems like it's like the viewer's in the room with you.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's just, look, we having this conversation here, and y'all have entertaining content, and y'all have really good chemistry as far as bouncing off of each other, getting different opinions out of each other. So what, from a creator standpoint, like, what made you think of putting these people together for the best content?
That's actually a good ass question. Cause I got a lot of family, even if we not blood related, that I would consider, like, you can't be around my mom, I don't consider you family. So it's people from college, my neighborhoods.
I want you to remember that as you.
Nah, for sure. Like college, the neighborhood, and then like high school. I got a close-knit group of friends in each of those networks. Probably like 20 to 30. All 20 to 30 people cannot be on camera, and I learned that over the years. Some lessons I'm still learning, like, even though this person good on camera, they don't take this seriously. Like, if they can't understand why I would be mad about being 5 minutes late, yeah.
I don't know why you being shady, right?
Like,
I didn't say shit.
Like if I take this serious and like it don't look good, you got a guest coming on, they here before the people that's supposed to be here. So when we have a conversation down the line, even with the people that I think would be good on camera, it just came to learning that, like, they probably not even doing this to make me mad, but I'm getting upset, and it's like if we supposed to do business again in the future, like our pass gonna line back up, but you can't put everybody on camera. And then as far as like the specific show everybody seen recently, that's not the porch. I just try to let them know your whole life is what this show is. When I call when y'all called me and we talking about what we did last night at the club, we ended up being on the phone 3 hours, went from business to like, hey bro, look what I just sent you, I'm on Twitter. Yeah. If we could have a natural conversation like that I know people would pay to see, that's what I want out the push to be. So it just came from letting people know like there's no scripts for this. Everything y'all see is like it was created in that room and in those moments. That's what we trying to go for. We want the people that's watching us to understand we're real people. Yeah. Like y'all gonna see us argue on camera. We have the most hilarious arguments on camera. Like serious, like one of us was mad at each other, but like people don't see the behind the scenes. Like even with Pundit, people don't know what it took for y'all to get here.
That's a fact.
And I just want my art form is just showing, even though we working and doing other things, that the collective y'all see here is actually a family, and we not no better than y'all. We just putting in the work on a consistent basis to create content.
That's a fact. A lot of people don't understand that for you to be successful in certain areas, you have to be obsessed, and like people really take the obsession for granted. Because you got to be obsessed. That's why you trip off certain things.
Because that's not their obsession.
Right.
Because you don't even realize you're obsessed until you take a step back. Like I'm obsessed, but I enjoy this obsession.
Yeah, definitely.
You realize like even on your downtime, you doing shit that you're obsessed with that relate right back to something professional. That's when but it's good. That's how it should be.
Exactly. If
you're not like that for your job, you're in the wrong profession. You just need to leave.
How do you separate your business from friendship, though?
I try to look at things. Like I have relationships with people. I don't really have too many friendships because I don't want no relationship that I'm in with somebody to be dictated on good or bad behavior. Mm-hmm. You had to do some wild shit for me to like never fuck with you again. Once we locked into a certain point. But that's understanding your journey. If we really family, I don't care if I ain't talked to you in 2 years. Like I'm understanding, like you had to do your own thing, because if I was going through shit leading up to music that pushed me back for different years, like especially COVID, different things. My family's older. My dad 85, so my responsibilities.
I mean, not like
you good.
No, I just my bad.
You're good, bro. You good, bro.
But I can't say that because my mom's 62, so like I can't really say that.
I was just thinking like, bro,
my father's
fucking, like he was out here fucking like.
But imagine. I go away because I got to handle some real life shit. When you dealing with shit, you're not thinking who you want to tell and call like, hey, I'm not going to be here. You dealing with that shit. Mm-hmm. If people understand it with me being Ghost or me doing what I got to do to better my life, if we locked in and we friends, we family the way we say we are, it's the same energy. So I have people around me where I know whether I'm around you every day or I'm around you for a spurt of a week, I'm going to just try to get the most out of it.
Okay, so how do you let your personal life, how much of your personal life do you let interfere with your podcast business, with your creative side, let me call it that? Because music also, I will imagine, have to do something, listening to your music has something to do with your personal life for sure.
Nah, it does. That's all my music is my personal life. I can't just make up shit. Well, I mean, I could, but it would be lying about doing shit you don't do is just gonna bring trouble in the long run. So I would never just be portraying this demeanor that I don't live that like. That's stupid as hell. But everything I rap about, I'm either going through or went through. So I wasn't doing a good job of separating my business, my creativity aside from my personal life, because people just had too much access to me. Like now, I'm just now getting better with like, I hang out with y'all next week. I see y'all like saying no is underrated. Yeah. Like the ability to say I could leave this building and somebody asks for if a homeless person asks for this jacket, if I really think they're homeless, I'll give them this jacket before I give them $100. Mm-hmm. Like right off this back. So I wasn't saying no with my time, and that's the only thing I really value in life is my time. So I'm contradicting my own beliefs, and after a full circle run talking to God, I realized like people just got too much access. People think I'm gonna always be around for them,
That's a fact.
And they got me on their time when really I need to just have my life, my creativity around myself. And the people that love me gonna respect it, because if we really locked in like that, me going to an interview, me going to another podcast, and me doing this, that, and the third, if you were interested in the same shit, we gonna line back up anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot my whole fucking question.
I want to say, you want
I was say go ahead, because I had it. It was like right in my brain.
It'd be like
and
that.
my brain like, no, you gonna forget right now.
Cool. All right, so with as many people as you bump into, of course you want to create as many relationships as possible, right? But you sometimes realize along the way you can't really depend on many people, right? How do you navigate yourself throughout the podcast industry, throughout the music industry? Because you meet a lot of people in between. So how do you keep a healthy distance, but still make sure hey bro, like I'm still here, I got your back type shit?
It depends how we meet. That's one. And it depends on, I don't want to say how powerful you are, but like certain people I don't expect to meet and connect with the same way unless we met on that way. Like if we met out at the bar cooling, a mutual friend knew a mutual friend of mine, that's how we meet. And then they was like, oh, well, he do this. I think that'd be a better interaction where I would have somebody back versus I just keep it business. Because even though when you just have shit business, when you mixing business and art, which is like a lot of the shit I'm intertwined to, everybody think they got an opinion that matter to you. And I even like my homies that I got a part of the podcast, I always tell them like, this my baby. What y'all got going on, I had no problem helping and understanding, creating with y'all. Y'all just gotta know what y'all do it for. If y'all do it for money, you shouldn't even be worried about your own thoughts. You should be worried about what everybody think, because they who gonna pay you. Mm-hmm. But if you don't do it for money, you shouldn't be worried about what I think realistically. Yeah. It's all about pleasing yourself at that point. So once I learn who I do it for, which is my art just being out there, if you enjoy it, if you don't, I can't live off nothing, so I don't need $200K in a year to be successful. I could still have $70K just off one project, and I know that's me making it. Like, I'm not a greedy person, so once I realized what I wanted out, creating was the easiest part, and then it just, from the brotherhood and then business, it just came realizing you gotta maximize people's time. So sometimes the beauty of Not the Porch is how organic that show is. I can set that up real quick. So if I ever feel like motherfuckers is about to hit sparks on fire in a conversation, I'll be like, hey, y'all don't mind, like, let's sign this little NDA real quick. Because you don't want to wait till you make money. Mm-hmm. You don't want to wait till you make money to start trying to do business, because then everybody going to feel entitled. You got to be real blunt with motherfuckers. Like, if you think I'm paying you to come on an episode, you're tripping. But if you're on,
say that again. Facts.
But if you want to be a part of something, that's a different business thing. So I used to just cut on the camera and I had to stop, because people really be feeling like, oh, they a part. Like, no. So y'all gonna sign something real quick, and then we could keep going right back in this conversation, and that's how I get some real organic, nice footage. And it's after that, just be falling in love with the art of angle shots, like what it look good, what you could put together. Like, I love how, I don't want to put y'all out there, but like how y'all got your phone recorded, bro. That like that cinematic view go stupid, nigga. Like, with the light, with the.
Yeah, I was gonna say about the whole, but you said you don't like pay somebody to come on your spot. I mean, I feel like that's an either or thing, because with that, it's either, because some people do be playing with you, and you do sometimes start having to charge people because they are playing with you. So I guess what I'm trying to say, do you charge people per se to go on your podcast, or you feel like they playing with you, then you got them to sign a little NDA or whatever?
Musically, I haven't had to yet, because I don't be on other people's time. Nor am I paying you. Like, if you said we was about to record from this time and you was late, I'm not recording you for that hour. I'm not even really recording you till we start. But I got real people around me who, when at the end of the night we done been around each other 10 hours, they like, bro, we didn't even start recording till this time, so that sound good to you? Nah, yeah, that's good business, locked in. But For the podcast,
I'm not saying a damn thing. I'm listening.
For the podcast, I really had to like, I don't want to say educate people, but like I'll tell a homegirl like, cause we was working on this toxic show. It's still dropping, but it's just getting the right things in order. Cause too many couples felt entitled to like, all right, if I'm coming this, that, and the third, it's like, bro, I can put my own mess out here and pay myself. I don't need y'all. I was just trying to give you an opportunity. Like, you could promote yourself, or you could present something in which I could show face to, and then we could work like that. But everybody think business is just money and money. Like, sometimes it's exposure and exposure. Sometimes it's support. The DMV has so many talented people that just want money instead of supporting each other. It makes a lot more sense to show face with this person, show up to this event, whether it's for 20 minutes, than you being a fake person and now y'all just using each other.
Because everything is transactional.
Yeah.
And they feel like exactly how you said.
And that's why I don't be.
If they're not getting paid for it, then it don't matter.
So with like my family, just to prevent us having to fall out, I be on business tip on, because we family. Like, you a punk ass nigga, like, sign this contract, I'm not playing with you, you're not gonna be on this episode, like, be over here. And I love you, but it's straight like that. Cause I would hate, like, you watch Math Hoffa shit.
Yeah, of course.
You see the shit he going through now.
Even everybody.
I would hate to be in a position where I'm about to come up on $750K and you thought you was gonna extort me because of whatever you've been holding in. Each day I'm gonna check in with you, like, hey, I hope you're okay, like, with this, that, and the third. But
but he should have did business from the get go too. He was comfortable with. Oh, I just got my homies. We talking.
He was, but that's what I mean. Like, I would hate to be in a position like his to even have to do that.
Sure.
Cause that's the reality of the situation. People feel entitled, and when you realize people don't think the way you do, you gonna criminalize their behavior. Cause the same way I agree with Math in the situation, but the same way you may side with Math is you have to understand where they was coming from. Some of them probably definitely think they was right. I don't think they was right. But I don't think they crazy or
bigger piece. No, they're not.
They're not crazy.
A bigger piece to the situation than they actually were.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also agree with Math, like you said. Like, y'all don't put in the work that he do. Y'all show up and record.
DDG was saying that to his little cousins.
Y'all show up and record. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
They don't worry about the marketing. They don't worry about the editing, the literally sleepless nights that you get.
And they don't realize that shit because they cool with you. So while you up at night carrying the bulk of the load with motherfuckers on your back, sometimes you gotta let niggas know, like, bro, I was up till 2 a.m. editing this shit, and you 10 minutes late, fuck you. You gotta let people, especially if you close, you gotta let people know that shit. Cause when you don't, they in their world, you upset, and then now when they come to you, you like, nigga, you wanna raise, nigga, this equipment is my equipment, I pay for this. This studio that we run out, I pay for this. And no, I'm not throwing it in his face, but until you put in a little different effort, I'm not even asking you for money.
You show the same passion, then why would you have equity? So
with our network, I told niggas off rip, like, niggas get paid off the show they provided or are a part of consistently and not as a guest. Like, when we do the introductions and we say, hey y'all, this is me, and we introduce the rest of the people, if you being introduced, you not being paid.
Okay, that's fair.
That's just being real.
That's fair.
So, how do you feel about the DMV's creative scene?
The DMV is top 5 to me, honestly.
No, we got some top people, but I'm talking about as far as business wise. Like,
we're bottom in business. That's why we have the most creative in sports, in art, and business. We're always top 3 or 5.
Are we putting them all together, or we're separating?
No. So look, I'm breaking it down. We don't support well at all. We don't do a lot. We don't do a lot of things well, which is why these things are amplified.
Why Shaq Lizzie not a top 10 artist right now?
But DMV artists get so much respect from artists you wouldn't even think are in contact with them because we're talented.
Facts.
But we don't support, nor do we unify. There's no reason through a 7-year span we've had artists like Fat Trail, Flock, Rico, Go-Go Bands, Wale, Zanman. Even with Baltimore, like, we so disconnected, we don't fuck with people in the state we in. So there's no reason we have all these artists, Brent Fayez, GoldLink, who are around bigger artists. And now these bigger artists respect them. We're not gonna act like when Bird dropped and Fat Trevor verse was coming on, people in different states wasn't in love with that fucking verse. Not Bird, with Shit. When he dropped Shit with Future, people were supporting Fat Trevor. He had a backing.
Yeah.
He just
MMG.
With Brent Fires now, bro, he is looked at as one of them niggas for R&B. He don't have no backing here. He don't get a different type of love. We don't support ourselves to the point where nobody in the culture check this nigga for real for talking about where Go-Go was coming from, and it's a little bit in Maryland. But a bulk of the Go-Go's used to be in Maryland.
In Maryland, yeah. That's a fact. I agree with that.
And still, I'm not saying there's none in D.C. The sound is for sure D.C.'s, but
in Maryland.
But it's for sure in Maryland. So when he said that it's nobody close to Pharrell, which they're all from the DMV that ain't chugging. Mm-hmm. You got artists like Kodak that listen and tap in with. Look at artists' background. Chief Keef, Lil Uzi, some of the pop star rap artists, the biggest artists around that was blowing up, came to the DMV first, set up with Slutty Boys, Trail, different artists. They connect themselves with our city because this was where money at. And the only reason people don't look at this like that is because we take all our money and take our resources and put it to another city, or we just move out completely. When really, it's you. A lot of people don't leave the house. They don't put in no work around here. They don't support people. They the negative motherfucker. And then you gonna go to another city and put in all good energy, or you gonna repeat the process. And they be like, man, it's not even lit out here. No, you not lit. You don't go out. You don't have fun. So
they embrace other places as well.
So I feel like we're top 5 in a lot of things, but our lack of supporting each other and backing doesn't amplify that. So it doesn't matter if we got the talent in business in these areas. We're never going to achieve in Atlanta, Houston, Memphis coming up right now, Detroit coming back up. We're never going to get those comebacks and those success until we come together.
I agree.
No, I agree.
I'm not mad at that.
But I don't think it's a legit 7 cities that's better than the DMV as a whole, all around.
Okay.
For vacationing, that's different. But like for making money, we for sure already top 10.
No, at first I thought you was going like just the music scene type shit, like you.
No.
Because I was about to say it's really talented artists other places. It's just
overall
yeah.
The whole package.
You were right with the overall package. Because there's no reason why a nigga from Arizona should be more popping. No offense to Arizona.
No, but that's a real point.
There's no reason why a nigga from Arizona should be more popping than somebody in DC.
Nigga, there's no reason. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. There's no reason Jack Harlow should be popping over niggas in the DMV. Where's Jack Harlow from? Where's Jack Harlow from?
Louisiana. No, Kentucky. He from Kentucky.
If we broke down a list of successful people, you got athletes, you got artists, you got entrepreneurs from Kentucky and from the DMV. Who's gonna win? The DMV.
I feel what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I'm not saying he's not talented.
I'm about to say Jack is a talented motherfucker.
No. But I'm saying we don't have nothing right now that could really compare with Jack as far as like not necessarily his sound of music, but like there's no artist really on Jack Harlow wave right now that would get his backing and support and love that could do an international tour, continental tour. Nobody
Jack
can do
was
that.
The type
and he's from Kentucky.
Yeah, facts. I agree with that.
We in one of the most expensive places to live.
We
one
got
of the wealthiest black
street.
communities.
Right.
Like
Howard is literally down the street. That should be enough black support.
But it ain't no support.
I agree.
You could talk to a bunch of successful people. 8 out of 10 times they're gonna be like, yeah, I can't wait to go here, there, woo and do this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
But won't do that home.
I agree with you.
No, I agree. So, who would you want to collab with, like in the future, DMV wise or not DMV wise, just in general, like poppin' artists, DMV artists you may know that could be from a different state, don't matter.
Andre 3000 off rip.
Ooh, he not gonna do that. Not saying he not gonna do that like you're not good enough, but he's really limited.
It's just he limited as fuck.
Yeah.
The only thing that gave me hope when he dropped, it was something with like the Divine Dudes. And it was December. He did a track with them.
I about to say the last track I remember is probably with Kanye, and it was Life of the Party.
And he fucked that up for everybody.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He started dissing niggas.
That really wasn't supposed to come out.
He the first because it's more so like all the people I'm looking up to or who I came up off of is dying. And not even just off age, which is a factor, but like they dying. DMX is a person I wanted to just try. I'll take the dinner with DMX over a certain amount of bread, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Not all amounts of bread. I didn't say the 500K. I didn't say that. But it's a certain amount of money you can offer me, and I'll rather link up with DMX, Andre 3000, certain artists that I actually respect.
Sure.
And he was first just because, like, Andre is old. It wouldn't be like why him after, like, in 10 years, Andre 3000 died, you could try to chalk that up to old age.
But if you,
not off a
send
bad
that
thing.
track to him and he send it back,
that's
accomplishment already.
Oh my God, that'd be
that's an accomplishment already.
But like Poppin' and Hot and the DMV Fatro, probably one of my favorite artists, him and Wale. Overall, shit, I do a track with Nas. I do a track. Oh fuck, I was about to say Dolph, but he passed away.
Man,
It's a lot of motherfuckers, but
I'm pretty sure he got tracks available.
He do, but that's a penny.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's a pretty ass penny.
Yeah. Okay, last question, and we're gonna wrap it up. So, wait, do you want the last question?
Sure.
All right, go
I was gonna say, well, I guess because you said how you're like, because you got a lot of stuff going on like with your family. I'm trying to put like business out there, but you did mention your father is like 85 years old. Do you think that really affects your life within itself, or do you have people to actually help you with them? Because I've been to the point where I have people who don't help me, or they do help me, but it's always a problem.
It's more so like day-to-day shit. Like, my father was strong as hell. Like, the worst shit about him, he got bad hearing. So he can only hear about 30 to 40% of what a normal person could. But other than that, that nigga's a country-ass normal nigga. Like, you wouldn't even be able to tell his age. This nigga come in here, first thing he had asked for was like some Henny. And I'll put a lot of bread.
nigga.
He'll punish a lot of people in drinking. Especially when it comes to Henny. So, like, me and him just went to Atlanta.
Oh, shit.
And if it was for better reasons, when we go back, we going to a strip club.
Okay, he said
Like,
what he said.
my dude's already approved it. He gonna be straight. So it's not necessarily like.
Oh, he didn't say where the bitch is at. He just want to know, where a good time is.
It's not necessarily he need like a nursing home or anything like that. But like, he a old, like, you. If your parents are starting to get up there in the age, they doing shit they got no business doing. Mm-hmm. Like, your dad ain't work out in 15 years or did a push up, but he wasn't working a yard for 8 hours straight out of nowhere. Sit the fuck in the house, bro. I will cut the grass, bro. Like, I'll come home and cut the grass. I'll do this, that, and the third. But if I'm not around, he definitely not gonna ask me. My mom the one to be like, your dad gonna keep trying to do this. Can you come do that? So.
Okay, I feel that. All right, you go ahead and end this out.
All right. Here you have it, who J Musa is. Go check him out on all platforms and let us know what you think in the comments. If you have any more questions, you never know. You may see Claire, you may not. You just never know. But I'm Simone.
I'm Z the server.
We're out.
We out.